grandfather, Dominic Gaudioso, was the eldest of 13 children. And he came here at some point in his teens at the turn of the 20th century from Ischia. And he originally settled in Pennsylvania and New York, doing whatever job an immigrant could get at the time. So I think he worked on the railroads, in a coal mine, and during Prohibition he operated a still for some bootleggers. So you can imagine the crew he was running with at the time. So in 1929, when he was 40, he decided to go back to Ischia to get married. And he went back and married my grandmother, Anna Cuomo, and returned, initially settling again in Chester, Pennsylvania, where his brother was. So my father was born shortly after they arrived, and they weren't there for very long when my grandfather got sideways with some people one would not want to get sideways with. And he loaded the family in the car, as the story goes, in the middle of the night, and changed the name from Gaudioso to Good. So my dad and my uncle went from Giuseppe and Michele Gaudioso to Joe and Mike Good. And they arrived in San Pedro and moved into an apartment on 12th Street that my Uncle Jack owned. And my dad tells the story of a Christmas, used to tell the story of a Christmas at my Uncle Jack's house, where they were all sitting at the dining room table having Christmas dinner. And after dinner, they went into the living room where they had been previously. And my uncle had paid someone to come in as Santa, and just, there were toys everywhere. And, you know, this was the Depression, mind you, and times were tough. And despite that, my uncle and my grandmother's uncle were more established here than my father's family. It was just such an amazing experience to him. At 80 years old, he would tell the story of that Christmas as if it was yesterday, and his eyes would light up like a kid's, you know. And my aunt and uncle made sure there were gifts for my dad and my uncle under the tree. And that Christmas, when they got home after dinner and opening presents, and they got back to the little apartment, and my grandfather told my dad and my uncle, check under the tree, maybe Santa, or whatever they called him at the time, left something here for you too. And they went to the tree, and there was nothing under it, but on the branches was a dollar bill for each of them. So that was probably like one of the most memorable Christmases that was sort of etched into my father's mind.